Agreed. Let's move on to an interesting young team, the Memphis Grizzlies. They bring in Dwight Howard, who ironically is now a Los Angeles Laker, fighting to start with JaVale McGee. They bring in Andre Iguodala, who will soon enough be a former Memphis Grizzly. They bring in Josh Jackson, who looks like he's going to spend most of the season in the G League. They bring in Grayson Allen. They bring in Jay Crowder, DeAnthony Melton, Tyus Jones, Solomon Hill, and Miles Plumlee. They also draft Ja Morant, number 2 overall, and Brandon Clark at 21. What do you think of this Grizzlies team?
It's all about the young players, obviously. It's all about Morant and Jaren Jackson and Brandon Clark and what they look like. But they have a nice. I like adding Grayson Allen to this mix, assuming he's not being a total D bag. And I think that Jay Crowder is also a nice fit with them. I love the move for Josh Jackson, even though it's not going to pay off at all. But I liked it at the time. And I mean, this is a team that has designs on finishing close to the top of the lottery and adding another piece or two to this mix, and we'll talk to you in 2021. So this is I think this is how it should be done when you add those pieces all together. And playing with Grayson Allen, I think, is an underrated piece to this, because he's going to teach them. His skill set is so ideally fit for what they ultimately will have, which is a really good athletic shooting 2 guard, ideally. And maybe it is Grayson Allen, but I think that playing with those types of players, is those sort of archetypes, is what's going to matter for Ja Morant and these guys.
I know you mentioned the Grizzlies potentially being a threat to pick number 1 overall. This is going to be really interesting in what happens there, because if James Wiseman's the best player in the draft, do they add Wiseman to Jaren Jackson Jr., or do they go with a slightly cleaner fit in Anthony Edwards, who could slot in, take over the shooting guard spot? It's going to be interesting to watch this roster be built, because we don't really know what position Jaren Jackson plays yet.
Right. I think their ideal situation is a shooting wing, to add to this, or and one that can even score a little bit. But
yeah.
There will be those types of players, but this isn't necessarily the one draft where I would be looking at that, at least at this point, very early in the process.
Yeah, let's focus on 2021, 2022 to sort of build this roster. It'd be fascinating. If they picked number 1, it would be fascinating to have Wiseman in as, a 7'1" guy with a 7'6" wingspan who can shoot the ball a little bit, next to Jackson Jr. at power forward, and Ja Morant, a young athletic team. But obviously a lot's going to change between now and June's NBA draft. So worry about that then. Let's